Hi guys, what's up? It's your Karen, aka cakedbybabyk, and welcome back to my channel. Can you believe it's already been a month since I've done my last empties video? Unfortunately, this one is not as jam-packed, but there are still so many gems in here that I'm very excited to share, so let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off with skincare, I'm going to go through cleansers first. The first one I have is the Crave Beauty Makeup Rewind. You guys know I'm a double cleansing stan. I am a huge advocate for it, and I just got Nate to start double cleansing about a month or so ago. Maybe two and a half months. To me, this formula is really unique because when I think about double cleansing, it's usually an oil or a balm. This one leans closer to an oil, but it also has a jelly-like consistency to it. I love it for my oily combination skin. Nate also was using this, and he has very sensitive eczema-prone skin. We both really loved it, and I love how it comes in a squeeze tube. Usually when it comes to products that I use for a first cleanse, I'm impartial to a pump because I don't like having a tub and dipping my fingers into it. I like the ease of a pump better, but with the oils, that means that it can drip down onto your arm. So if you are a sensory person, I'm just putting that out there, this might be a really good option for you because it is a squeeze tube. And even though it's a jelly oil hybrid, I would say it leans more towards a jelly consistency. So it's really easy to control the amount that you want. When you squeeze it out, the texture of it looks and feels like a normal foaming face wash, but it doesn't foam. It just melts off all the makeup, dirt, oil, sunscreen on your face. So to be clear, this is marketed as a first cleanse only. You're definitely going to want to go in with a second cleanse with a foaming face wash or a creamy face wash if you're more dry. Nate and I went through this in less than a month, so that should tell you how good it is. Definitely a 5 out of 5 and would repurchase. Now for my second cleanser, I was using this as my second cleanse after the Crave Jelly Oil. If you've been watching me for a while, this should come as no surprise, but this is the Glow Recipe Avocado Face Wash. This is a face wash that I feel confident recommending to all skin types. Nate recently started using this as well, and it pried him away from his tried and true, which was the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser. He was using that one religiously, but then he started using this one and he really loves it. So I guess I'm just using him more as a benchmark these days because he has a completely different skin type than me. I've said it time and time again, but this cleanses without stripping the skin. It's very nourishing. It has ceramides, which is great for hydration. When you lather it up, it feels almost creamy, but it's still sudsy, if that makes sense. It truly feels like you're washing your face with a cloud. This is one of my all-time favorite face washes, if not my favorite face wash. I already have a backup in my shower. I don't even know what number tube I am on. It's at least 5 at this point. 5 out of 5, I definitely would repurchase, and I have repurchased in the past many a time. Now, y'all should know, once you see that Glow Recipe Avocado Face Wash, you should know that this is not far behind. This is the Glow Recipe Avocado Ceramide Serum. I just mentioned both of these in my Sephora sale skincare recommendations video, so I guess I won't talk too much about this one, but all I'm gonna say right now is that whenever my skin is angry, inflamed, has a rash, whatever, the moisture barrier is compromised, this brings my skin back to life. She is a travel staple for me. She is one of my top 3 serums of all time. Another plus for me with this serum is that it's hydrating, but it's not overly hydrating to where my face feels heavy. You guys already know, 5 out of 5. Again, not gonna talk too much about her because I feel like I've talked so much about her every single time I finish her. And I feel like the same could honestly be said for this one. This is the Caudalie No Perfect Serum. Again, I'm not sure what number bottle I am on. Now this one, the only gripe I have is that she's $82, but I assure you, she is worth every single penny. This serum has a vitamin C alternative, so if you are known to be sensitive to vitamin C, definitely check this one out because it is so effective. I have put so many people onto this and they all say the same thing. Their skin just feels more plump, juicy, radiant after the first use, and then over time, it helps to lighten up your dark spots. I ride so hard for the serum, and I know a lot of other people do too. She has a cult following for a reason. I already have a backup of her in my bathroom, so again, 5 out of 5. This next one I am super excited to talk about because I have not finished one of this category in years. It is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I am in the shade Vanuatu if anyone is curious. You guys, my love for this foundation runs so freaking deep. I've worn her on so many occasions. The fact that I even finished a bottle is freaking crazy because I test out so many complexion products. I'm always bopping from one product to another. So the fact that I finished this is a big feat. It is so lightweight with a buildable coverage. I would say if you do 1 layer, it's more of a medium coverage, but if you do 2, you can build it up to a more full coverage foundation look. Even if I do multiple layers, it doesn't feel cakey, it doesn't feel heavy. If you don't set it, it It has a really nice natural satin finish, but you know me, I'm an oily bee, so I always have to set whatever foundation that I use. It plays and pairs well with every single concealer, powder, setting spray that I have tried. This is such a tried and true. It's always in my makeup bag. I already have a backup. I have been doing so many wedding makeup trials, and this has almost always been the foundation that I've used. Now, while I absolutely love her and she gets a 5 out of 5, I am going to veer away from her for a second to try other foundations that I haven't had a chance to try yet that I know people love on their wedding day. But if all else fails, this one is going to be my wedding day foundation. Like I said, I already have a backup, so that should tell you how much I love this foundation. And if you're someone who struggles to find an undertone that's truly a match for you, I highly recommend NARS as a whole because they have such complete shade ranges. As someone who has warm and olive undertones, it's really hard to find a true match for my skin. And NARS is one of the only makeup brands that I found that has such an expansive range of shades. So if you're looking for a lightweight buildable foundation that's going to last, I highly recommend this one. I've been loving every single product, and I feel like while that's great, it also is kind of boring. But continuing on with the pattern of products that I absolutely love, I have 2 setting sprays this month. The first one is the Milk Hydro Grip Setting Spray. Now this is the mini size. I've gone through 2 mini sizes in total, including this one. She is a hydrating setting spray, so I'll insert the picture of when it's actually full. You do have to shake it to mix it together and then spray. I like to use this when I've over powdered my face or if it's looking a little bit too matte or if it's lacking dimension. My only gripe with this setting spray is that since it is separated, once you get to the bottom, it's really difficult to get an even layer. So once I get towards the end, I'll experience bigger droplets that sometimes will kind of break my makeup apart. That's really only with the last few uses, so keep that in mind. Take what I say with a grain of salt. This isn't necessarily a setting spray that I would layer in between makeup steps because I think it is very, very hydrating. I'll only use this after I've powdered everything and I'm looking a little bit too matte, too flat. So I'll spray this once because it is pretty hydrating. She gets a 4.5 out of 5. I still love her. I would use her again, but she's not like my holy grail. And I have another hydrating setting spray. This is the Morphe Continuous Prep and Set. This is the one with ceramides and antioxidants, so it's going to be more hydrating than their original one. First and foremost, I love that it's an aerosol, but that does come at a cost because once you get to the end, it gets kind of just not as fine. I love the scent of this. It smells so clean and fresh in my opinion, but it's not strong to where it's going to linger on your face. Because it's a continuous mist, you can evenly coat your whole face, and I will be the first to say that this is a very wet setting spray. Obviously setting sprays are in liquid form because it's a spray, but this one feels extra wet, if that makes sense. It honestly feels like you're misting water all over your face, but then it dries down really beautifully. Similar to the Milk one, this is not a setting spray that I would use in between makeup steps, although I would try to use this one for that use over the Milk one. But the main way that I use this is again when I've over powdered my face and I need a little bit of life brought back in. Even though she feels really wet when you spray it down, it doesn't stay that way. It dries really beautiful and it's not super dewy either, which as an oily girl I can really appreciate. I believe this is my second bottle of this spray, and that's just counting this type. I think I've finished 2 of the original formula as well. 5 out of 5, definitely would repurchase. And last but not least, I have the one product of this empties video that I absolutely do not love, and it's a Dove deodorant. This is the advanced care one that has been tested on 100 different colors. It says clear invisible finish that's supposed to last for 48 hours. All that's a scam. Okay, you guys know I am one smelly bee, and I feel like this deodorant has contributed to me being smelly. It just doesn't work on me. Like, yeah, it works for the majority of the day, but there comes a point probably like the late afternoon where it starts to wear off and I can definitely like smell myself. Now I am super self-conscious about the way that I smell to other people, and I've mentioned this to other people in my life and they always say that they can't smell anything unless they're like right in my armpit. I'm always asking Nate like, hun, do I smell? Am I a sweaty bee? And then I force him to like be right up in my pitties. And he's like, yeah, I smell it a little bit, but I can only smell it when I'm like right in there, and who else is going to be right in your armpit? So while he does make a valid point, I still don't like being self-conscious about whether or not I'm odorous. So she gets a 1. I would give her a 0, but the fact that I stuck it out with her and finished her says something, so she gets a 1. This is so funny. It says building girls' self-esteem. You're tearing my self-esteem down. Okay? Never again. Never again. Happy to report that I am now using a new deodorant that seems to be working eons better than that one. So I will probably have that in the next empties for you. But that is it for this month's empties. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.